Hello, everyone. It's Leanne Meghma for our weekly check-in with Spirit to see the types of things we're going to be dealing with this week and how we can best self-care to help us move through it. So what do the spirits have to say today, Meghma?
The Justice card is back. Then we have Eight of Wands and Judgment.
Intense
These
cards.
are intense and big energies. Wow. Okay, I'll say that the first thing that I see or hear is the work that we have done to create a ground for ourselves to stand on our reality and planted the seed of what we want to create. And this is happening at every level, like at a very individual level where we are taking new decisions or choices to show up differently in our life because we're saying no to a lot of things that we have been enduring for 8 years. And now we are saying no more. We want something different. We want to experience and create differently. And this stance is also happening at a global level. Like there are even who we call muggles are actually really talking about the wars that is going on and really questioning it. Like, honestly, the world is peaceful right now. We just fought a global disease together or whatever it was. It brought us together. There is no reason to there be a war, right? And people are questioning it and saying we don't want this anymore. We don't want traumatized men and traumatized countries and the guilt of the slaughter and everything to ruin us for generations, the economy, the mental health, and everything. And this stance that we are taking, and this is all coming from the justice card, like the sense of justice that is now needed on the or we want to see, and there is a very strong stance that we are taking to balance in this case. Do you have something to add, Leah?
It just something came to me. It's interesting you saw that. I wasn't necessarily going to share it, but when you held that card up, when I was looking at, she's holding a cross, right, on a staff. It
No, it's
ends, or it's
actually
a sword.
Inverted sword, but
Sword,
yeah,
so it's the pommel of the sword, so it's like a cross. But what I saw was stars very often reflect that shape of light.
yeah.
And I was thinking that if there is one star that does that more often than not, that's known for that, I think that that has like a deep spiritual message, like to look into that particular star or planet. But that just was something that came to me.
Interesting, but what I got from that is we could talk it up like that about the metaphorical North Star, the innate desire to have like peace and harmony of the planet is now being a North Star for our very personal individual decisions and the global decisions that will happen now.
Yeah, and everything that you had stated around what you were receiving from that card is absolutely so true for so many of us. I know it was this week, this last couple of weeks, making those decisions, saying no in situations that we never have before. I mean, that's what I've been doing. My no has become so important to me. it's very funny looking at my life and just seeing how much it's like, no, 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 no. And that's like, I need that right now. And I know so many of us do. And it is part of finding our yeses, because each no brings us more into alignment with where we really need to be. Each no is a step in protecting ourselves. Each no is a step in validating ourselves and caring for ourselves and really believing, committing to that we are divine beings. Because while we're not saying no, we're not honoring the God within. We're not honoring our divinity.
Absolutely. And it's so cool because as you were talking about it, for a moment I was like a little distracted and was drawn to the card. And I was reading into the card's message. And when I focused back on what you were saying the exact same thing as well. So it's super like cool how multidimensional the reality is. So yeah, the thing that you talked about, honoring our divinity, this finding the North Star of our heart to live with love and
Beautiful. Keep going.
gentleness. Yeah, that
Wow. Living with your North Star, the North Star of your heart. Wow. Wow.
yeah, and that has really like that the Eight of Wands that represent speed and the speed in changing. And Leah and I were just talking about that we feel like we are in this uh very fast light kind of tunnel and we are moving at a very fast pace, but it is also very peaceful because we know we are guided our higher self. So what I was trying to say earlier is as we are connecting to the North Star and making it our main directive, our higher self now has that connection and is like coming through so strong. And that's why we feel like a little bit taller, more powerful, still like we don't know what's happening, no idea, but we feel much more safer and stronger than before because of
More
that.
stable, more stability. And it's an internal stability, which for some of us may be a little shocking. If you are not used to feeling that way, I know I have been feeling safe when I wake up in the middle of the night or at random times during the day. And that is not something I have walked with in this lifetime, is a sense of safety. So, when Meghma was talking about that light tunnel that we're moving through, it's filled with, like sense of being protected and safety, and the absence of fear is so loud that it's almost like it's screaming.
Yeah, yeah. But it's also happening very fast. There is a big essence of speed in it, and which is great because we have been waiting for this shift for long. And the miracle is as soon as we find that key of following the North Star, it's happening, shifting so fast. And then finally, that brings us to our third and final card today, which is the Judgment. And the word for today that the card is screaming today is liberation. So with this shift, we are liberating ourselves of all those old obligations and rules and mandates to show up and always give or not have boundaries or not even stop and think about ourselves. We are liberating ourselves from those narratives and choosing to be in touch with the divinity within ourselves. This is like so beautiful. And we are not just bringing this individually to ourselves. Yes, we are doing this and experiencing this, but we are bringing this shift to everyone around us and the entire planet.
Yeah, it really is You know, the thing you have to keep remembering is every internal battle that you fight, every step forward that you make in finding your divinity, believing in your divinity, owning your divinity, breathing it in, acting through it, you know, practicing compassion. You know, when you're driving, when someone in front of you needs to get in the lane, be compassionate. Think about what you want from the world. We all want compassion. Well, the only way we're going to get it is by being it. And just, it's like a meditation. You just bring yourself back to it. When you find yourself not acting compassionately, bring yourself back to it. This also puts you in alignment with your divinity. The more you forgive others, the easier it is to forgive yourself. And sometimes you have to forgive yourself before you can forgive others, because it's this whole spiral. But
Yeah. But forgiveness and the intent to move into a different reality, in a different way of living and experiencing life is the key right now. Like, as Cryon always says, the intent is all that you need, and it's the major ingredient. Without your intent, which is actually how you are directing your will and using your will power in everything that you do, the other anything else, all the crystals and meditations and all that doesn't work, because in the end, yes, this is a planet of free will, and that is the main it is the main priority. It overrides everything else, and it is our own choice, our individual choice, and that's a powerful thing to sit with.
and the other thing that's so powerful is just to remind you to look for what feels good now, because being in alignment is more available to us than it has ever been. And when you are in alignment with your higher self, your creator, however you see any of that, you feel good. You feel really good. You may experience screaming peace. Let us know what you're experiencing. We'd love to hear it. Okay.
Yeah. Until next time, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.